Why are egg prices still high, and what does that teach us about the nature of deception? I'm Joshua Lisec. This is Daily Persuasion. I'm the New York Times bestselling author and co-author, ghostwriter of more than 90 books, and a certified professional hypnotist. It's through my unique blend of experiences I curate current events to help you better influence the VIPs of your life and career. Now, the recent joint address to Congress that was given by President Donald J. Trump, egg prices came up before, during, and afterwards. Yes, during, as there, of course, were protests. I also saw on my channel that very same day replies bemoaning the $14 price of a dozen eggs. Now, where I live in Ohio, your pasture raised, organically farmed chickens laying eggs, small independent farms, are $5 a dozen. You see similar eggs in terms of those features at supermarkets between $2.50 and $4.50. So what's happening is that the extreme high end is being trotted out and repeated over and over and over and over and over to focus on the fact that eggs are more than a buck a piece. $14 for a dozen eggs, $14 a dozen, $14 a dozen, when that's not actually what the vast majority of Americans are seeing. We're also seeing the post hoc fallacy. This is after the fact. I believe it's post hoc ergo prompter hoc, if I recall correctly, which is after this, therefore because of this, or after that, therefore because of that. Now, Donald Trump was elected. He became president. Eggs are $14 a dozen. Well, obviously, obviously. Okay, what's happening there? Well, generally, we observe the liberal mind incapable of critical thinking, of objective reason. One thing that's helpful to do, and I recommend that you do this, is have your little smartphone and stylus handy at all times. Smartphone and stylus handy as much as you can, as often as you can, in case you need to start drawing this stuff out. And what you can do when you're engaging with someone who doesn't understand basic cause and effect is you can draw two little lines. A red line of something going down, and then a green line of this other thing going up. Cause and effect, basic economics, where remember how Joe Biden had tens of millions of perfectly healthy birds culled for fears over this avian flu business? Well, when you decrease the supply, even if demand remains the same, price goes up. Okay? We have supply, price. And a simple visual illustration, just a few lines, can help the solipsistic individual, the liberal mind. It can help them understand how things work the way they really work. And the fact of the matter is, you're probably going to be the very first person who's ever helped them think beyond the post hoc fallacy. Oh, well, I noticed that eggs are more expensive because the opposition media I trust as my sense makers within my information environment, they're talking a lot about how eggs are expensive, Trump is president. Eggs are expensive, Trump is president. Eggs are expensive, Trump is president, which they never talked about while Biden was still president. And they did not talk about the effect of herd culling, or rather these factory farms, which are an abomination, of course. They did not talk about how the factory farms that slaughtered tens of millions of chickens, egg-laying hens specifically, what effect that would have on prices. There was no warning associated with it. It's just public health panic, public health panic, 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 panic. If you can keep people in a state of fear, you can just control them wherever you want. It's kind of like in Taekwondo or in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or even in Taekwondo, where if you can get someone in a lock where they're locked, they physically freeze up because of the fear of, oh, I'm stuck, I'm hosed, and then you can move them however you want. And that's what the opposition media does to the normies who consume it. So you watching this, if you have your stylus and your screen handy and you're engaging with someone, you're talking to someone who seems to indicate they don't have a basic, even, let's say, elementary understanding of a concept, you can whip it right out and be the first to explain it to them. The first person to explain reality to someone, it's like metaphorically taking their virginity. You emotionally and spiritually own them for the rest of their lives. And that's not metaphorical.